Hey, how's it going? I guess I should show you the signs first. Okay. So, I pulled 2 cards today, but first, I want to talk about something else. I have been feeling not great all day. I've been like, I want to be like upbeat all the time. It's just a better mood to be in. But I do have sometimes, it gets threatened by stuff that I'm thinking or something that'll happen, as I'm going about whatever I'm doing throughout my day. And it just could be like an interaction with someone or some process that I wanted to do didn't complete the way I wanted it or some such thing, and aside from the wanting to be as honest as I possibly can, I also want to be able to just deal with whatever comes without getting completely angry and upset about it. But I have to fight it sometimes, like stuff will come creeping in, and it's like I'm in this process of learning how to be myself differently is the best way I can put it, and I'm having to make changes. And I have a new aspect in my life, and I am really careful about it, careful feeling. I don't want to screw it up, basically. And I didn't even feel like I could face that today because of the way I was feeling. And I don't like to come on here and do this if I'm feeling at all messed up, but it's like Mercury retrograde. When you hear about it, they say don't do certain things, but it goes on for so long. It's like you have to do the things eventually, and I feel like telling you not to do it is not telling you enough, given that it lasts so long and stuff can't just wait 6 months or longer for Mercury to get out of retrograde before you sign some contract or other legal thing that you want to do. It's just impractical. So you have to learn, and I don't just mean me when I say you. This time I mean everybody, you too. We have to learn to be able to do things while that's happening. And we're told that the reason to not do stuff, the reason why you're dissuaded from doing important things is that they're likely to kind of screw up. But like I said, sometimes you just got to do it. So you have to find a way in yourself to be able to I'm thinking of a maze, because a lot of times that's what things turn into while you're doing it. Well, there's Mercury in retrograde, and certainly your own mood will contribute to how that's going to work out. In any case, at any time, that is true. But I think the reason why it's feeling like a maze for me right now is because I have more going on in my life than I have had for the past decade or more. And it's not even a full-time thing. I have an occupation now, a volunteer type situation that I'm really into, but it's in an area that I've never felt like I was good at, and I make a lot of mistakes, and makes it stressful because I want to do this the right way. And So it's like going to work. You know, you have to straighten yourself out to be able, especially if you work in the service industry in any way, like whatever level. If you got to go to work and deal with people, keeping your job, keeping your bosses happy depends on how you act when you're there. And if you go in all messed up, you know you have to straighten yourself out to some kind of passable degree. So that's what I've been feeling, and I'm not sure if it's got to do with the fact that I haven't been able to go out and exercise for 2 days, because I've just been going out anyway and riding when I know that maybe I shouldn't, and now I'm paying for it. And that is contributing to my mood being kind of messed up, because I haven't been able to, release pent up energies that that's the only way certain ones will go. And then another added element is, boy, am I super sensitive to, not necessarily any more than usual, to somebody saying something to me that might piss me off or make me question or just didn't make me feel any kind of way, but to like 9/11, for example, I've never liked that holiday, if that's what that is, because I don't want to think about it again. I don't want to relive it, and I tune the F out. I don't watch, forget broadcast television. If you put on broadcast television, everybody's talking about 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. Tons of stuff gets preempted. It's just, I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. And I know that there are people who are still suffering from it, like the first responders that have to fight all the time to get health care for doing this massive job when it was also a massive wound to the whole country and also other parts of the world. Like, people who have feelings, and this is what I'm talking about, this sensitivity. So, I mean, what was it, 20-year anniversary? I always can feel it coming, and what I don't like is it's not the mourning for the people that we lost. That's not it. What I don't like is, I guess, people reliving it, being reminded of it and reliving it. That is what I don't like, because I feel that. And it's yucky. And I also am feeling the same way, as why I don't look at any of the programming, and I just try to stay away from 9/11 altogether. I'm looking at cartoons, I'm looking at reruns from 60 years ago, anything but 9/11. And that doesn't mean I don't care about the people that were hurt by it, that lost people. That's not what it's about. Please understand, that's not what it's about. And it's not just me, but I want to open more sensitivities in myself. Like, I already have some things going on, like some clairs and dreams that come true, some of them. And not like I'm all, oh, my prince will come, just like I'm asleep having some dream and there's people I don't know and I'm talking to them like I'm completely familiar with them, and I'm in some place that is not familiar to me, but I act like I totally am at home there. And then sometime later I'll just find myself like, whoa, it's like a deja vu, except it was that I'm remembering a dream. And I guess that's overall what deja vu is remembering a portion of a dream. But I'm remembering like the whole thing, and it's not just that I'm remembering, it's that I dreamed it and then I'm living it. So I have that. So other things have been opening up, and again, it's not just me that this is happening to. It's happening to people that are not trying to make that happen and are not trying to enhance it. And depending on like what degree of whatever you're getting is, like no matter whatever the gain is, like you could be getting like a little inkling of something that warns you of something that's coming, and you don't really know what it is. You just know you have like a little funny feeling, and you kind of don't want to go over there and do that, but you don't know why. And then if you listen to your funny little feeling and you don't go over there and do whatever that is, something happens, like the place gets robbed or worse or something, but something told you not to go. Or it could be full on, like you're all, I want to go to that Starbucks and get whatever they sell other than the coffee, but you think about going there and then you realize, oh shoot, there's gonna be a robbery there. I'm not gonna go there, or anything in between. So if you're looking for it, it makes perfect sense. If you're not, you're gonna feel crazy, I think. I mean, this is what I've been told. So if you're feeling crazy because all of a sudden you're like psychic, don't feel crazy. That you're actually getting back something that you've always had. And it's a remembering, like your body is like, oh right, I do this. And it's our minds that forget. I've mentioned this before, that we were born and we forget everything that we know. So with all of those senses kind of more open, I kind of spent the day just like, I had to deal with a person that came to the house to help, and she did, but she also screwed up. I don't think she knew that she screwed up, and I really was upset when I discovered the extent of the screw up. But at the same time, there was a loss that is minor, but it's not minor to me. It's like I did not want to lose that particular item. And it's not gone, it's just broken. And I still have another one of it, so it's not like a total loss, like I said, but it's like, dang, I've had that forever, and now it's broken and no more. And then an expensive piece of kitchen equipment, one of my chef knives, got put in the silverware drawer with all the metal, and sure enough, I pull it out and it's already got chunks out of it. So I could fix that, but there is a whole gang of knives that look the same, and I don't know why you would decide to put the knives, even if you couldn't put it in the block with the other ones. I don't know why you wouldn't just put it in the area with the other big knives. There was no other big knives in the silverware drawer. No chef's knives, which this one is, and it was expensive. It was like the one knife. Well, I have bought a couple of other knives, but chef's knives, like I spent some serious money on this one on purpose because I cook. I wanted a good knife, and then I found it in the drawer. Like first I couldn't find it. And it's the same with this other thing that broke, and I was like, well, where the hell is this stuff? So I can't, like, she didn't know, right? She should have asked, but she didn't. I don't know why she didn't ask. Like, this knife doesn't look like it goes here because it doesn't fit in the block. I mean, I guess it could fit in the block. There's just not a space for it because it didn't come with a block. It comes with its own sheath. So instead of asking me what do I do with this or putting it near the other things that are like it, she put it in the silverware drawer, like, ugh! So again, she didn't know. So now though, someone's supposed to come Friday to help, and I'm going to tell them to keep the person. Like, I don't want any more strangers coming in here. She was a substitute helper, and I do appreciate that the woman came. And she did a lot of other things that, like, I have had trouble doing myself. So that's kind of like what is driving the straightening out, so to speak. Like, I have to consider everything and sort of tamp down on my initial, natural instinct to just flip out. But that's what the whole day was like, and that was the only demonstrable thing that happened. Everything else was just feelings, like, woo, all day. The woman didn't get here till she got here early, so But whatever. Before she got here, I was already sitting right here in the morning, just trying to drink my tea and wake up, and I was just like, oh my God, I feel so sad. Like, I wasn't saying this, but my body was like, oh, you want to cry? And I'm like, wait, why, what happened? And I just had to sit here and just be like, like, or, later it was like, oh my God, so happy and warm, like somebody I really love is thinking about me. Like, I mean, that's just like the feelings that came to mind. I don't know specifically if that's what it was. I definitely didn't get a feeling of it's such and such a person sending you this. I think it was more like just like a loose just a bit of feeling, just sort of on the wind kind of thing. And I was windsock, so I guess I caught that stuff, and that's fine. That is what I want to be doing, because I feel like it's sharpening other things that are going to come into focus and into play and be developed into more, because that's what I want to do. I want to open up those senses and be able to see and sense the world in a fuller way. So that has been like my mood, and it just won't sit still. It's like it's like trying to catch a greased pig, the way I've been feeling today, and it's not entirely terrible, but it's not comfortable, I can tell you that. You don't know what's coming the next second. Like, what, am I going to feel like this? Am I going to feel horrible? Or, I mean, recently I saw, like, somebody getting killed. It was a long, long time ago. Like, it wasn't anybody from recently. I think it was just one of those things, like, this happened to me, let me show you. Because I live in a town that's, I don't know how old it is. It's like a couple of 100 years old, but I was at the dentist and somebody walked by and it was like, only I saw that person, only I heard that person. So I was like, oh, that's what that was. And this was kind of like that, except I was sitting right here and I just got to like know this person's death and how they died, and I was like, wow, that was interesting. Like, interesting, but it's also all over the place, and I'm not like controlling anything. I'm not like plucking these ideas and stuff out of the air. They're just happening, and I guess that's how it works. And I guess it takes getting used to. So, alright, now that I talked about that, I actually feel a little better having articulated it, because I haven't said anything to anyone. Like, I didn't know this woman. If it was my regular person who comes, I could have said that to her, no problem. Because, well, she would understand, because she has stuff going on herself. Well, at any rate, I mean, but she's kind of like me. Like, it just happens, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. She's not all woo like I am. She's just all meh. I'm like, okay. But it's good to have someone that you can say these things to and not have them look at you like you're a complete nut. So, okay. First card I pulled was from, oh sure, just flip everything over, the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And it was, whoa, number 53, Stranger. And it says Curiosity. So, given what I was just saying, I think it's interesting that the character, not a letter, the person figure on this card seems to be some type of wizard or sorcerer or something like that. They are sitting in a certain way that suggests it's some type of ceremonial thing. Like, there's gestures involved. One arm is this way, and the other is doing something like this. Like the hand is making some, I'm going to show you. The hand is making some type of gesture, and it made me think of light language. If you could see what the gestures that people are making in light language, like if the hands were creating symbols, that's what this looks like. And it's I don't know, this must be like some kind of I don't know, like this, whoever drew this art has a thing about having like the mystics doing some kind of thing with candles and symbols and gestures sitting in front of a body of water, because here again it looks like this person is sitting by some sort of I mean, I don't know if you well, I don't know, well keeps coming to mind, so I guess it's a well, but don't look like any well I've ever seen. But look how dark. I was gonna say maybe it's in a cave. I don't know why that would necessitate or unnecessitate having like a wall around the edge of the water to keep people from falling in. But I'm thinking that this place, not anybody can just wander in, even if they're curious, because the subtitle, by the way, is curiosity. But I was hearing scrying. That's not a mirror, although I don't know if prognosticating from water, I think that's the right word. You know what? I'm gonna check, because I'm anal like that. Hold on. Okay, that word will work. So, this person, I think, is trying to prognosticate. They're trying to get, like, all of this hand gesturing, that's like some kind of spelling, I think. Like, it's in combination with the symbols and the water and the candles and probably something they're saying that is meant to create some sort of, well, it's a means to an end, but I think it's, you know, they're looking for a prophecy, basically. They're looking to know what's going to come in the future, or what's going to come with a certain person, place, or thing in the future. How's it going to affect them? Like, I don't know if this person is doing this for themselves, or if they're some sort of official, like, subject of some royalty that does the spells. But I would say looking to the future to see what's coming next is definitely an act of curiosity. I don't know what that was. Red room? No. I will read from the guidebook. Stranger. The other. Moving past fear of differences, curiosity, and acceptance. The stranger moves through the world in a shroud of darkness that often elicits fear, rejection, and uncertainty, as the danger of the unknown defines its very presence. Yes, there is a veil of separation between you. Look closer and summon the courage to remain open to what you might find. You may be conditioned to look only for what mirrors what is safe and known to you, refusing to entertain any concept of other beyond something to fear. In order to broaden your world and your experience of it, you must refute the illusion that sameness is the only way. Hear, hear. Nothing you expect externally matches up with the other, and you're challenged by your own inexperience, but don't miss this opportunity for learning. Okay. Can I talk about the immigrant in the room, or trans person, or gay person, or whatever race person that someone who might have a problem with any of those things has a problem with? I find that, I mean, in my personal life, this is not so much of a thing, but I have seen it either observing other people in reality or other people just on like, not in a fictional show, but in like the news, where you see people captured out in the world being horrible to other people because they're trans, or they're the wrong race, or they're gay. And it's just like, man, really? I'm tired of it. I'm bored to death with it. You don't even know who and what you're really attacking. That's my problem with that. I was fortunate enough to have gone to school at an early age with just about every country on the map on the globe was represented at this school during the 4 years that I went there. And it was an amazing experience. And then it opened me up to, after I didn't go there anymore because we moved and I started going to a different school. Similar experience, but in my elementary school in particular, it was like the United Nations. It was insane, and it was united. Like everyone there was happy to be with everyone else that was there. Like there was no like, oh, this, Hispanic people or Latino people or whatever bad thing, or black people. Like it just wasn't happening, like, and it was an amazing experience. And going forward afterward, it was kind of jarring to not still have that experience. It just occurred to me, though, it might be that once you start getting into those junior high school years and that, you start to take on more adult traits that you would get from your adults you live with or spend the majority of your time with. And that's when it stopped being so small world. It's so many people. Oh my God. I hear about bullying now. It wasn't even really that I got bullied, I don't feel like, because there was one person that tried to bully me, and I was more like confused. Like, why are you picking on me? And I know why. I knew why then, but I wouldn't let myself believe that that's what it was. And I don't like to, I'll believe it now, but I'm not going to say it aloud because it makes it sound like I have a big fat head. But it took me a long time to come to that place. But it's like, after eliminating every other possibility of what it could be that made this particular person feel like they just had to find something to mess with me about all the time, it's always one of two things: either they got a crush on you or they're jealous. So I'm not going to say which it was and what gender that person was, but man, they made sure to make my life miserable for about a year. And luckily I just kind of brushed it off, and she finally let it out. Well, that person finally stopped bothering me, I think, because I was just like, whatever, you hate me, do your thing. Like, there was nothing to argue with her about or talk her out of it, because I was just confused. Like, what did I do to you again? Like, why are you bothering me? So, and there were other things. Like, people are just mean sometimes, I came from a different school. I had a different style coming in, so I wasn't samey enough for those people. And I never was, because I never had the style. My style was always off or weird or just wrong. So, I don't know. It was kind of challenging at the time. I definitely dreaded going to school because of that person a lot of times. But she was the bully, the one bully. But there were plenty of other people that just randomly would just spit out some kind of stupidness at you. And I would just be like, what? I was just wondering, what did I even do to you? So, I think I was lucky that I was just kind of dippy and bemused by it more than, yeah, it hurt, but I was always just like, why is this person hurting me? That kind of was the overriding feeling. School with teenagers is weird. I'll tell you right now. But you probably know that because you probably were one. I don't think it's news. Anyway, but did anyone talk to me and find out why I was the way I was? Why my style was different? Why my style stayed different? No, that's not what people do. They'll make fun of you first. So that's what happened. And that was junior high school and high school. The end. It's okay. You know, once it started getting kind of bad, I kind of stopped going. And, you know, I took the little test and went all the times to the school until my mom was finally like, take the test. I'm so sick of these people calling me at work talking about you ain't there. So, that happened. And, I think it worked out. I mean, I'm not a complete moron. So, the other card, because I'm curious about stuff. Thank goodness for YouTube, man. I love YouTube. I mean, if we had YouTube during school, it just would have been so amazing because so much information is there. Like, who cares if I stopped going? I was still, like, reading, and learning, and talking to everybody. Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't doing it in the setting of the school. So I pulled a second card, and it's from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it's Otter. And I love those happy little fellows. They are so cute. They're like, well, you've probably figured this out all on your own, but they're like cute little water dogs. And my favorite thing about them is their little hands. Oh my god, they have little fingernails. They have little hands like we have. The only thing on them that's really like us, isn't that weird? That they need like little thumbs and digits to, I don't know, open their shellfish. But you know, that's not like they're there with like an oyster knife or something. They just put a rock on their chest and float around and just bang their clams or whatever, because it's usually some kind of shellfish that I've seen them feeding on in the nature shows. I would imagine they eat just fish too, though. And I don't know why they have hands instead of paws. It's darn cute, though. So, they are happy. They're good-natured. Although, recently in California, I forget where it is, someplace in Northern California, like, oh, Ventura, I think, in that area, or north of there is there are like big surfing spots in that area. And there was I guess a popular place that surfers would go to like for years, and it's also, it turns out, a breeding ground for the otters. So I don't know, you know, otters, I guess, are their senses are being affected too, because I saw a story recently of one that got relocated to Europe, I think, because it was not like the other otters that would like play and surf next to you, or like hop on the surfboard and ride with the surfer and do cute otter things. This guy was like combative. He was like kicking people off their surfboards, and I remember when I first heard about it, I talked about it, and I thought it was, how is that happening? Because a surfer has an ankle lead attached to them and their board. So, I mean, they're just kicking them off the surfboard. The report made it sound like the otter was jumping up on the surfboards, knocking people out, and just going away, like surfing off with the surfboard. Somewhere in there, the reality has got to lie, and I don't think it was all of what I just said. I could see an aggressive otter jumping up on the board and baring their teeth maybe and coming at you. I don't know that they would follow through on actually attacking someone or something so much bigger. But this was an unusual guy. He was not, you know, when you're friendly, happy otters. Because like I said, it's not like this surfing spot just appeared yesterday. People have been going there for as long as there was surfing. And I've never heard of these problems. So, and I've lived in the area too, so you think I would have heard something. But I guess they relocated this poor guy to Europe, so now he's completely in foreign waters. Like the other otters there, I don't know if they're going to accept him. Like sometimes they do, and sometimes I don't know. And I don't know that I'll ever know. Did they tag it? They didn't say. And my thing was, well, couldn't it find its way back? And someone, I said something in the comment section about to that effect, and someone jumped all down my virtual throat about, it's Europe, they'll never find their way back. And I'm like, if they can hop on a surfboard or a kayak or a rowboat, they're not stupid. And if a cat can find its way home from Maine to California, I'm sorry, I don't find it beyond the realm of possibility that this aggressive otter couldn't make its way back home if it was really determined to do that. Remains to be seen. So yeah, reading from the book about the otter. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. So yeah, this other guy was like a sport, like a real outlier, because they're not aggressive like that usually. So perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself, without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. Well, you know, could have used that today, but I would have had to like stick this thing to my forehead because I was so all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I eventually like pulled myself together, and then thank goodness, as time passes, eventually whatever all of that was levels off, ends, whatever, but like something finally broke, and it was like, oh my god, I don't have to feel like that, at least for now. But I could have really used to take on some of this energy. It's not what I was doing. Would have helped. I mean, it worked out okay, but I mean, it was kind of hard. Like, I was kind of having to work at it, and I wonder if I didn't have this kind of attitude in mind, it would not have been easier. And I don't wonder it would have been, because I would have been inspired by it. But you know, it's like I was talking about in my last video, like I sometimes will watch something about politics and feel my heart rate going up, and I won't start watching it feeling really anything much more than like curiosity, like, oh, what is this headline about? And then I'll get on there, and whoever's talking they'll get heated, or whoever they're featuring or reporting on will get heated, and I may agree with what they're saying and get heated on their behalf, or I may disagree with what they're saying and get heated on my own behalf, or someone on the show will get heated and I'll just get contagious heat. And that's not good. That's not good. This is much better energy for my heart, and my heart's not in trouble, but I feel like I should protect it, because in my family the heart's kind of taking a bunch of us out. So I want to keep the heart happy, like literally happy heart. So they have a giddiness and reverence for life itself, without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? Better. What would it take to bring you there? Well, I mean, I was kind of in the thick of a mood today, but when I did pull this, I was reminded of their energy, and also at that time, I think it was coinciding with what I was just saying about like all of the feelings that were getting my shoulders all up in my ears with stress, I guess, or anxiety. I mean, all I have to do is see one of these guys and they make me smile, so that helps. smiling helps, and that is something that I did do. Like, I didn't feel like smiling, but I was like, just do it. Just smile. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. And it's true. If you do it when you're not feeling like happy, or just unhappy or angry or whatever it is, if you can remember, because it's hard to remember for me when I get my head up my butt, because that's what I kind of feel like is what's happening when I get all angry and aggravated. It's not helping me at all. Like, it really doesn't. So I don't want to be doing it. But I've kind of made a habit of it over my life. So working my way out of the habit has been long taking. I'll get there. I can do it. So, I'm sure. Long pipe. What would it take to bring you there? What would life look like if you had a little more outer energy? The outer card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. Well, word. When in balance, full of love, needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, make silly excuses. To bring into balance, dance party or celebration. Okay, I'm not having a dance party. You can just forget that. And I don't know about a celebration either. I mean, what do you mean by celebration? I can happy myself up. I can go with that. That sounds doable. So I guess that's it. Thank you and good night.